Section 7, car lighting equipment generators, adjustment. The young of the frame belt driving the generators will home the front of the car with the hang with the yoke of the generator will be inclined with a slightly to over the truck with a belt is applied with the give to the belt, proper tension of the avoid slipping with the pulleys, and now the method of the regulating belt tension is to measure the distance. Flexible tape around with a bolt to apply pulley with the generator hanging in the proper position, and after the belt, which of the belt will be cut in 6 inches short of the measure for the taken by the tape with the measurement will be taken with the belt is removed with the care will be taken with the axle. Generator pulley is kept with the proper alignment to avoid the belt. This is important with the charge rate with the batteries entirely dependent on the proper operation of the generator. B. Communicator. The hanger pin with the generator will be kept lubricated at all times with the ensure the proper belt tension for the truck. Change of their position while the car is in motion. The dust cover will be removed at the regular period. Brush reversing devices examined thoroughly with the brush will be free with the knot loose for the holders will not be allowed to wear beyond the point where the pressure spring do not hold them firmly with the non-tack with the communicator. Communicator will be clean and have the bright smooth with the surface at all times with the communicator black and pitted with a burn so they cannot be cleaned easily with a plate within the generator. It will be removed and turned into a layer with the care might be taken that only necessary amount of the copper is removed with the true with the fade of the communicator. Communicator will be furnished with fine sandpaper with the makeup between the bars of the undercoat with approximately 1/16 of an inch with the power with the hand tool with the care might be taken to see that all mica with the slide with the removed with the depth of the after with the being slightly with the edges of the communicator inspect with carefully to ensure that no particle of the copper remain in the slots. Lubrication of the generator bearing will be done carefully with the use of the degrees for the general purpose of number 2 product. The WB with the care will be taken not to overfill with the bearing housing. As too much grief with the ball or roller bearing is bad enough because of the heat developed by the friction of the bearing with the rotating through the mass of the groove. The average quantity of the grease for any of the type of the ball bearing is about 2/3 of the capacity of the bearing housing. Grease retainers of the gasket will be inspected carefully with no grease may be broken with the interior of the generator. Grease on the communicator coil with the poor communication may result with the burning out of the armature. Grease on the field with the coils of the injurious for the insulation. Cleaning with the old connection of the brush hole with the reversing devices will be kept clean and tight. In case of the excessive dust accumulation of the interior of the generator may be blown out with dry compressor air with low pressure leads for the generator will be watched the shafting of the air connection. Keep tight and clean the terminal block. Heavy repairs. The above instructions of the intent of the maintenance of the equipment and service of the heavy repair with the necessary for the operator will remove the car, overhaul the air lead with all the bearings, other parts of the clean, play with the new parts necessary for the insulation resistant. Fuel coils, armature will be tested. All insulation clean with the new insulation applied. If necessary, the insulation will not allow the drop below 1 mega ohm. 67. The batteries. Lead acid type of the solution of the batteries will be maintained to cover the entire area of the plate. The height of the solution will be kept with the normal with the addition of the water. Only water known to be free with the mineral and alkalides will be used if the possible with use distilled water. Batteries require periodic attention for the distance of the thickness of the height of the solution. Reading of the specific gravity to indicate the battery charge sufficient. Battery and battery boxes will be kept clean and well painted. Connections will be kept tight when clean, and batteries will be consistently low gravity. Batteries that are consistently low gravity and no adjustments can be made regular. Apparatus which will be charged often too. They keep them approximate with the rated specific gravity. The charging rate will be governed by the condition of the battery. With the battery partially discharged, high current may be used with the battery. Not only with the partially discharged, with the charging rates will govern the amperage of the hour's capacity listed with the battery nameplate. During charging, the battery will be watched to see that it does not go gas freely. Open over the flame will not be allowed with near gassing batteries. Temperature for the solution will not be allowed with the raised above 110 degrees Fahrenheit. With the overheat batteries and cause of a heavy gassing of the resolution, loss of the solution. Voltage checks will be made with the frequent of the battery surface. The voltage reading of the batteries on charge will be taken in interval with the batteries are being charged. The specific gravity will be checked each hour with no further rise if the gravity is noted with the battery is considered fully charged. Connections between the cell and the batteries will be kept tight with a good condition. Accumulation of the dirt and acid for the outside of the batteries and capable to be washed off the battery with water. Battery tray with the wooden parts of the tree with the alkaline solution. Batteries will be locked securely with the box so that they will not shift the wind cars solution with the help of eliminate shopping of the acid battery in acid injury in the battery case. Alright, now battery stand of the discharge stay with a long period of time and it may not come with the interchange charge properly. With the event with the battery charging will be continued until the battery is fully charged until they are certain that the battery is faulty, with which case it will be replaced. Alkaline Edson type of the alkaline battery with similar operation lead acid type with however there is normal specific gravity with the electrolyte changing the light little between the charge of the discharge. And alkaline battery condition the best determined check with the voltage battery voltage on the load with the operating circuit voltage of 1.2 volts per cell. Solution alkaline battery with maintained with the same manner with the acid type of the battery. Use the distilled water keep place with a covered 1.5 inches of the gas. The alkaline battery is explosive And same precaution will be exercised recommendations into above. Shopping the batteries. The batteries will not allow to remain continuous service without capacity test of a period greater than 30 months. The work down overhauling batteries at this time will be necessity to return the battery painting solution, renewal of the car, repair the for next normal car over the shopping period at the time of the car shop with the batteries within the battery room for testing, cleaning, and repainting. 68 relays and regulators. Generator voltage exceed the battery voltage switch close of the generator connected with the battery with the generator voltage drop below the battery voltage of the battery supply coil becomes strong with the pull of the switch open and preventing this current from the battery passing with the generator from the main switch for the generator current with the pass of the resistant regulator with the device regulate with the generator output of controlling its field of the excitation limiting the output of the requirements of the battery and load lamp load. B. Current passing of the lamps also pass with the regulator that operate with the same principle. The generator regulator, the hold of the voltage comma that prevents flickering with the light of the shape of the bulb. Both regulators have the air dust pot with the dash pots, which dampen the movements of the Lincoln leverage, keeping them steady, the preventing sudden surge of the flutterings, and over the operator of the dash pot have the adjustable air vents with adjustment to keep the regulators operating smoothly. They will work freely at all times. The care will be taken to see that they do not stick with all hinge pins of the regulators. Will be checked with the regular intervals, kept free with the sticking, and maintain smooth condition. Dust and dirt will not be allowed to collect on the regulators. Have this one case with the sticking of the dash pot with the hinge pins. Those may be blown off with the dry compressed air with low pressure. All electrical contacts will be clean and in good conditions. All wiring may be maintained carefully and checked with the shorts of grounding and regulator with the intervals. Fuses will be properly sighted and kept tight in the holders. Section 8 handbrakes.